Hi. Hi, everybody. Little guys, we are going to be painting with my friend, the flamingo, today. He's going to be painting all your painting with you, so you can watch him move. Colors that we're going to use today are completely up to you. This is the fish that I painted yesterday on plastic. So he's purple. So if you're going to do it this color, you're going to need purple, red, white, and black, and a little bit of blue. So you figure out what colors you guys want to use for your fish. It doesn't matter what color. If you want him to be green, he can be green. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to be starting with mine. You guys have the crafter's paints. These ones here. You don't have to use water. So I'm not going to color my background. If you guys want to color your background to make it look like water, paint this whole thing blue. Paint it blue, let it dry before you carry on, okay? So I'm not painting mine, so I'm not going to let it dry. But I'm going to be making my fish shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to not start way over here. I want to start right here in the middle, sort of. So he's got enough room for his little thing to go over here, but also enough room for his tail. So we're starting with the middle of his body, this part right here. And all it is a circle. So not too high because you want to have that thing up there. Start in the middle of your page and you can draw a small circle. If you need to trace on a little plate, you can trace on a little plate. We can make this bigger, but it's really hard to make it smaller. So I'm just going to make this circle, and then for his mouth, it's just a line that goes across. You make that come out as far as you want, and then it just sort of goes right into that circle. You see how his mouth is kind of going? From here at the very top of yours, you're going to bring it down just a little bit. And at the bottom, you're going to go up just a little bit. Kind of looks like an eyeball, doesn't it? Does look like an eyeball. So from there, then what we're going to do is we're just going to make it a little bit rounder, just so it's not so round. Go around, fill it in. Maybe you want this to be a little bigger down here. This is where you can make it a little bigger. That was just the starting to get the shape, right? Just wanted to have a little shape. And now you can make the shape anything you want. Maybe you want yours to be a big, fat kind of a fish. They don't all have to look the same. All the fish in the ocean are different, just like we are. Okay, so there's that. Now take your bigger brush. If you guys have a bigger brush, we're going to use this great big one now. And I'm going to go into the purple with that one, and I'm just going to color it all purple. It doesn't go on very good the first time, so I have to do a couple of coats. So I'm going to put this on thin. Even if it's see-through and you can see all the streaks in it, just don't have any big globby pieces in it. Want it to be nice and smooth and thin, and then it will dry faster. And when it's dry, then we can put a second coat on. Doesn't look very good right now, does it? It's not supposed to. It'd be very frustrating if you try to make it thick right now, because when you go back over it, all that thick part's going to come off when you go to do the next part. So just get a nice thin coat on there, and we're going to let that dry. Is that the shape that we want? At the shape that we want? Maybe we want to shape it just a little different. Maybe we want that to go a little longer. That's okay. We can do that. Maybe we want him to be a little bit deeper down here. A little bit fatter down there. That's good. That's what we'll do. Okay. All right, now I'm going to put that purple away. We need to make this color for his fins up here. So I'm going to make a pink. And all I'm doing, my plate is really messy because I just keep using the same one. So I'm going to take some white and some red, and I'm going to make pink. A nice light pink color. Pink and white. And always go to the edge of your eye. Don't go right in the middle because we need pure white later for other things. So there I've got a nice pink color. If you want to put a little purple in that, that'll give it a different color of pink. So you just take a tiny little bit of purple on your brush and put it in there and swirl it around. Have a nice little chunk of that. And then what we're going to do is we are going to put this sort of not right at the very top, but back just a little bit. And it's going to swoop, swoop round. Okay? So swoop, swoop, swoop round. And then just fill that all in. Got it? Now we're going to move to his tail. So at the end of the tail, we are going to draw two little things like that. There's one. Goes whoop. And then the other side comes up. So it looks like a leaf. And then the bottom, we do the same thing. Comes down and it wiggles around. See that shape? There we have two. And here's one that comes way like this. It's the same shape almost. Nice big one. Now we're going to color that in. That's so he can swim around and see where he's going. Little one right here. Like a little eyeball, a little leaf. Right there. Like that? That's our little leaves. Our little fins. So back to my big brush. Gotta dry it off. I don't want it to be too watery. Back to my purple. I'm going to give this another coat now because it's partly dry. Oh, look how nice that goes on now. See how dark it gets? It's just my purple. My other colors, sometimes they're dark the first time I do it, but my purple likes to have a couple of coats. Right there where his mouth is, come down and around. When you get to where the tail is, you might want to switch to a smaller brush so that we don't go over top of the tail with our purple, because the tail's not purple. Coloring this all in. Okay, I'm going to take a little brush, smaller brush. Doesn't matter which one, that little round one's fine. And I'm just going to go to the edge. I'm going to make that just a little bit wider while I have the purple. Get a little bit wider. There we go. Okay, this is really wet. You should let these dry in between. Every time that you do something like that, that purple should be dry. You could get a blow dryer and dry it. But while mine is wet, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take sort of a medium-sized brush, and I'm going to take some plain white. That's why we go to the edge. We want to have some plain white here. Take some plain white, and we're going to make it just a little bit lighter in certain spots. So draw a straight line across. That's where his mouth is. And then all up in here. See, because my purple is already wet, when I add the white to it, it makes it nice and light. So there's going to be a shape that's going to come around here, and it's going to go to his mouth. Just mixing those up right on whatever you're working. Or you could just mix purple and white together and go on top of that. So all of this is going to be light purple. or light blue or light green or whatever color that you've painted your fish, this part's going to be just a little bit lighter here. Keep it nice and smooth. My paint is very, very thick. It's not good, but it's really thick. Okay. Because I have to put other colors on top of this and it's really thick. So if yours is really thick like this, you want to dry it. Make it dry. Nice and round. It's all going to look good. So he's got these wrinkles right here. And because it's so dark, I'm going to make those wrinkles with this. So starting here, I'm going to make a nice swoopy line. Better if I had a smaller brush. Get a smaller brush. There it is. So I'm going to go with white, just plain white. And I'm going to make a swoopy line around here. That's this one. And here's a little one by his tail. And then there's one that looks like his chin right here. So I'm going to go swoop. There's his chin. And you can blend those in a little bit. So they're going to look like little wrinkles from when he's swimming. There is going to be a really hard part to this, and you don't have to do it if you don't want, but I went all the way around this in black, so you're going to need a nice little thin brush for that. That's the only hard part, I think. So we have to draw a little. This one lives way down deep in the ocean, and that's actually a light on the top of his head. So that light, I don't know why, but it lights up for this fish. So I'm going to start over here. So it hangs down in front of his face, comes up, and goes right onto his head. And then I'm going to make that a little bit thicker so that you can see it. There. Okay, clean that brush off again. I really like it. I might have to go get my blow dryer to dry this for the next part, but I'm going to do what I can right now. So I have a little bit of blue from yesterday here. It's just with my little brush. I'm just going to make a little circle right here. That's the light. Nothing else, just that little circle. And then I'm going to draw some little lines, all messy around it. That kind of looks like a glow. That just looks like a glow from the light. And because we're using purple, I'm going to take a little bit of purple on that brush. And I'm going to put a little bit of purple in there too. There. A little bit of purple in there. Okay. So this part's going to get hard because my painting's so wet. So what I'm telling you is get your big person to dry your canvas with a blow dryer right now. It's going to be so much easier. Okay, so blow dry all that till it's really, really dry and then carry on with the white. Mine's going to pick up all kinds of different colors in here, like because it's so wet, it's just going to keep going light purple. But I'm going to do the best I can. So I'm going to use my little brush. And right where this pointy thing is, I'm going to draw a white line. You can't really see it there. And this one too, all kind of going on the same angle. So all the same, not straight up and crooked, always the same way. There's a word called parallel. They're all parallel. Same angle. Make it nice and thick. These are sort of the bones in his, in top of his fin. And I got a little bit of white, so I'm just going to go on the ends here, like some light hit it. Get it off my brush. And maybe a little bit in each little section, just put a little bit of white. blend it in. There. Okay, so for the next part, I have to draw, ouch, an eyeball right there. Great big eyeball. Big, big cartoon eyeball. So I'm going to draw a circle partly over top of that. See how because mine is wet, it's all purple, light purple? But that's what his eyeball is going to look like. For you guys, it would just be white because you got your big person to blow dry. So I'm going to let that dry for a minute. And I'm going to go with my little brush and I'm going to use my black just so that I can see where things are, because you're going to have to do this later and it's going to be tricky, but take your time, you can do it. Maybe make sure everything's dry before you use the black. All right, so I'm not going to do that eye because I'm still doing that. But right here, I'm going to go around those things so now you can see them. And then around this one. See how now you can see those? There. Does not have to be perfect. Does not have to be perfect. So I'm going to have to put a line here where his mouth is. And it's going to come down a little bit. It's not going to go straight across. I want it to lean down this way a little bit. So I'm going to start here. And I'm going to bring it down. Bring it down that way. Makes him look like he's kind of scowling a little bit. Okay. And again, if you guys have your dry, if your sky was all dry, this is going to be so much easier because it won't pick up all that paint that's underneath it. I'm going to try a different brush to maybe get some more white on his eye. Make sure all the color's out of it. Alright, maybe put some white right there. Oop, there's the light. Not that that makes a difference. If you don't have a background, you're not going to see it. Okay. You might have to leave mine with a purple eye because it's just not dry, so it's not going to pick it up. I'm leaving it super thick, and I shouldn't do that. But I want you guys to see that it's white. So it's not going to be smooth. It's going to be all chunky, but I want you guys to make yours really nice and smooth, okay? So hard to do when it's wet. There. Okay, now I'm going to do some teeth. No, I'm not going to do teeth yet. I have to put black around that. He has black around his eyes just so you can see it. So, especially right under here, I made it a little thicker under there. Sort of like he's got bags under his eyes, like he's a tired fish. Okay. And then he has a line here, a black line. So that can be a big, thick black part. But then when you go around the edge on the outside, out here, I don't want it to be really thick. Oops. See how it pulls the paint off because it's wet? It's my little trick for you guys. Make sure it's dry. Use a blow dryer. Use the blow dryer. Get it dry. It's so much easier. Oh, there you go. Oh, run around the side. Whew, that was hard because it's so wet. You guys are smarter. You're going to listen to me and you're going to dry it. It's going to be way nicer when you finish. Okay, so I am going to use the back of my big brush for the black part in his eye because I have to put mine on thick too. So he's going to look down over here. You guys can do this with a brush. You don't have to use the back of your brush. He's so funny looking. Okay, back to some white. Let's give him some teeth. The teeth are bigger here on this end, at the end of his mouth, and kind of curvy. So it doesn't matter what brush you use, a smaller one. Kind of curvy that way, but bigger. Like a shark tooth. And that's the wrong brush. Use your pointy brush. Using the pointy brush. And then it's going to be a smaller tooth, like that. You can give yours as many teeth as you want. It's your fish. And then just a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller. This one I'm not going to see very well until I put the black around it. So white, make that white. So you're dry, these teeth will be so pretty and white. Mine are kind of purple because my painting's still soaking wet. All right, now, next part. Next part, remember that pink that we had here? I'm going to take a little bit of that pink because I still have it here. And I put some just underneath his mouth. Just right here. Just blob that on that line. Just underneath that, where that black line's going. And a little bit right here. They're just shine marks. And then he has to have, when we go back to the black, this is my last part. We're going to go back to the black and we're going to go around the teeth. And around that too. And then they're going to show up way better. This is the part that's tricky where we go around everything in black. You might have to get your big person to help you, but you can try. So I'm going to go around his tail. Oops. All of his parts, just to make them stand out some. And, oh yeah, we have to go around his little face. I'm going to put some more purple in here because I want his face to be wider. So see that space that I left? I'm going to put purple in there in a minute. Go around here. Oops. Here. And go here. And right up that tail. Oh, now you can really see him. This part's a little tricky. Some of you little ones, your big person can draw this whole thing out for you with black. And then you can just color it in. That's another way. This depends on how little you are. Okay, now back to my purple because I think his face needed to be a little bigger, remember? So, more purple. There. Then, of course, we have to put some more pink there. What do you think? There's fish. Do you want to put some purple in his fins? You can put some purple in his fins. And that's all there is. Oh, let's do some bubbles. Bubbles are just circles, and I have blue for that. So you're just going to draw a little circle. And sometimes they're in groups. If you just do round circles, they won't really look like bubbles. But if you have a little one and then a little one that's sort of attached to it. Big ones, little one, maybe a little one there. Now they look like bubbles. Okay, and then you're going to sign your painting. And my name is Tammy, so I'll sign mine there. And that is your painting. Did you like my flamingo guy? Who knows what next time what I'm going to be painting with. So thanks for coming out. Bye.